Welcome back, everybody, to day number 4 of our mock draft coverage. Like I said, it's day 4, so that means number 4 pick joining me, representing kind of the Sacramento Kings right now. We're all like kind of representing what's happening here. Who knows? Sacramento Kings is Jason Anderson. Jason, I feel like this pick is the first one where I don't know what you're going to say. The first 3, I was like, okay, all right. Yeah. This one though, there's a lot of options that you could go. And the Sacramento Kings have made some big changes last year, trading some other guys, getting a couple of good guys in return. The holes that the Kings need to fill in order to use this number 4 spot correctly. What do you like? They were a middle of the pack scoring team. They're like kind of low in defensive rating, but not a horrible team. It's not like there's a hole where it's like this team can't shoot, this team can't defend. Like, what do they need to do?
Yeah, they I mean, the needs they've identified are first and foremost shooting, length, size, defense. They've been bad defensively for a long time. I think they've been rated in the bottom half of the league throughout their NBA record 16-year playoff drought now. So they definitely need to add some defenders. They'd like to find somebody who can really guard the perimeter, get some size and length on the wing. They are now building around De'Aaron Fox and Domantas Sabonis. So there's a need to kind of put some shooting around those two guys to open up, create space, spread the floor some. So those are the biggest needs they've identified going into the offseason. De'Aaron told us at his end of the year press conference that's what he thought the team needed. And Monty McNair, who's the GM here, kind of echoed those sentiments when we met with him. So I think those are things they'll be looking to do. Question is, can you get that, through the draft, or do you have to look at maybe trades or free agency to address those needs?
Yeah. And I will say for the mock draft, I said no trades. You're sticking with your 4. This is what you got. So with all that being said, the 3 things that you just mentioned: size, defense, shooting ability. How attractive is Keegan Murray?
Very, very. In fact, if the rules were different, I might have contacted some of your other beat writers to try to trade down. I think Keegan might be a little bit of a reach at number 4 for Sacramento. But I think I really like him. A lot of people out here really do like his game. And I think of the guys who you're going to look at in this range, he might be the one who's most ready to come in and contribute right away. So really, this is a complicated pick for Sacramento because we haven't touched on the fact that Monty McNair is going into the last year of his contract. And there's not an extension in place yet for him. And so if you're the GM and you've got kind of this win now mandate from the organization, do you take a Jaden Ivey or a Shaden Sharp or somebody who might need a year or 2 to get where you need them to be? Or do you try to go with somebody who's most ready to come in and contribute right now? So this is complicated. Monty and his front office, though, are very much philosophically best. They like best player available. We just saw a year ago, they drafted point guards 2 years in a row with Tyrese Halliburton and Davion Mitchell. And then when they found that the fit wasn't perfect, maybe with De'Aaron, they were able to trade Ty and bring in, a 2-time All-Star and Domantas Sabonis. So he's not afraid to play the game that way and manage his assets that way. But really the question is, how much time does he have to do that? If they don't win now, he potentially won't get a 4th season. So that's there's a lot there, and I don't know.
Yeah, there
are a lot of layers, and so it creates a little uncertainty. I'll make the pick anyway. Like I'm okay with that, but I don't know what he's going to do. He's in a difficult position right now.
That's actually a really interesting, like, another factor to think about is that win now kind of thing, because Jaden Ivey, as much as obviously we've seen him around because his mother worked with the Grizzlies, love him. I think he has probably the highest ceiling.
Agreed.
but he does have a lot to work on. Do I think he fits well beside De'Aaron Fox? Probably not. And then Sharp, he's just so unknown.
Right.
Like, just like what there's just like I don't know what to think about him. And I know he's up there. I know he's in this range, but if you're a betting person and you're picking for that number 4, do you go with someone who you just don't have a ton of film on?
Yeah, that's a tough one. I like a lot of what I've seen in Sharp when I've gone back and looked at, I've looked at as much as I can find on him, and some of his game stuff I don't love as much in terms of being able to get by somebody off the dribble, in terms of guarding his position. I think he's got a lot of those tools, and that stuff will come. But this is a kid who hasn't played since his senior year of high school, so how much time is it really going to take him? I think a lot of those tools are there, but he might be the one that you actually have to wait a good year or two to really develop.
Yeah, whereas Keegan Murray is, he led the Big Ten in scoring. He is a floor spacer. He hits shots, which is exactly one of the things that you said that this team needs. Anyway, let's get to it. Enough is enough. We're just speculating of all these different guys. We mentioned 3 guys. Feel free to pick someone we didn't mention if you need to, but you are on the clock now, representing the Kings. Who are we drafting?
I'm gonna go. I have to go Jaden Ivey. I'm not totally convinced of the fit either, but I think that there's a difference. And a lot of people call this a 3-player draft. I think it's 4. I think Jaden over time is going to be incredible. I like what I've seen. As I said, Shaden, sometimes I think he loses interest on defense. Like Jaden is going over screens. He's, he has work to do too. But I think he's the best player available. I think that if we can't trade down here and maybe take Keegan and pick up an asset from Detroit or Indiana, I'm going to go ahead and call it Jaden Ivey for now.
All right. I like it. He's explosive. He's shifty. He's 6'4". He's got a bit of size on him. I think that's a good fit. And then, hey, you're going to just have, again, if we're sticking here, that would be a very explosive, shifty 1-2 punch.
It would. They would be incredibly explosive. I mean, maybe one of the more explosive backcourts in the league, probably, if you can find a way to make that work. And Jaden's played off ball a lot. Mm-hmm. So, I think offensively that can work. And really it could be very dynamic if you think of those 2 guys cutting off a Sabonis and the way he passes the ball. Question would be defensively, the Kings might be going into next year and not really addressing those needs. And I think there's a feeling here that if you don't get better on defense, you're just not going to get better, period. So lots of questions, but if you're the commissioner and you won't let me trade down a spot or 2, we're going with Jaden for now.
All right. Such a tough commissioner.
I know.
Jason, thank you so much for your time. I love the pick. I'm sorry I wouldn't let you do what you wanted to do. I think Jaden's a great pick. And I'm so excited for actual draft night. It's going to be fun.
It will. Thanks so much for having me, KJ.
Oh my God. Yes. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Appreciate your time. And if you're watching this at home, everybody, we've got more. We've got the next pick coming up tomorrow. So stay tuned.